In this video, we're going to take a look at the last part of activity 121, dealing with isometric sketching. And what we're going to end up doing is we're going to take, using the example that's shown on the document, we are going to take one rectangular form, one triangular form of our choosing, and one circular or semicircular form. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a structure out of it and see what, and then we're going to sketch that structure. So you and your partner can go through, create a structure, and then you're going to sketch that structure that you create. This is where up on the countertop you have some double-sided tape. So double-sided tape is sticky on both sides, and you can use that to help kind of make these together. So I'm going to build this one. So here's the arch there. The triangle or the wedge is going to go up here toward the front, and then the little thin, tall block is going to sit kind of up here towards the top. So what I can do here is I can take a little bit of double-sided tape, and I can stick it on the bottom of the block here. And then I can go ahead and just stick it to the top of the arch. And that'll kind of help with that a little bit. Same thing here. Take a little bit of some double-sided tape. I might fold it over a little bit. Stick it to the bottom of my block. And then, or even stick it to the top of the arch, I guess. Kind of press kind of hard. And looks like that tape is not working as well as I hoped. Let me try a new piece. Okay, maybe the weight of it's going to be a little too much, but this would go through and maybe help you with kind of, there we go, kind of creating that, or not. So anyway, you can go through and you can kind of create this, and you're going to end up drawing this part in isometric. So the cool thing about this is you're already going to have the shapes already kind of measured out. So with my kind of, and I'll lay this down so that way we can kind of keep this in view, is when you have this structure, is you're already going to know what some of the shape dimensions are. So from previous sketches, I'm going to start with the arch. And I already have the dimensions figured out. So I already know I did 4 grid squares on the height of the arch. I did 2 for a leg. I know as I go to create the arch, the overall width of our part is 9 grid squares, so there's 4. So there's 9. And what I'm going to end up doing is go ahead and sketch in the arch shape. Now here is the tricky part for this particular case, is that the thing is I'm not going to be able to see the top of the arch so well with the triangle there. So here's what I'm going to look at, is the triangle starts here, or the wedge does, and I look, and when I count how many grid squares my wedge is after I drew it, it's 9 tall, and it is 4 wide. So along this here, 4 wide would put me at, I'm going to mark a dot here at the very corner, because that's where the front corner sits. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to draw that line in there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and count up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now, I've got a line that comes up. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this line that I drew. Because I know, and then I'm going to connect these. Because I know that that triangle is going to go through and kind of cover that up. And I know that it's going to go the full depth of my part. So actually I can get rid of this line too. And then I can go ahead and connect them. So there is a triangular block sitting on top of an arch. The one that I have left is I need to go ahead and put that tall block in there as well. So when I look at the tall block, when it sits together, it kind of has a little bit of overhang there, kind of stuck on the arch. So we'll see a little bit of that top, but it's going to sit right up against the back of the triangle. So that tall block, 3.5 inches is what I'm seeing, which would put me out at 14 grid squares. So I'm going to start right here. This is 9 up here, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to extend this line up. And then the width of that is going to be 4 grid squares. So I'm going to come down, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to see that here, duck at the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this kind of does as well. So actually you're not even going to see the back of the triangle so much as you're going to see, and even here, as much as you're going to see that front edge. Now I only did 2 grid squares deep on my rectangular block. And there we go. So now I'm going to erase that line and this one and just kind of fill in a little bit. And this will now provide, there's our structure that we have. There's our multi-view structure that we ended up having, or our construction block structure. And then I can start adding some shading. Now they don't tell you to do any measurements on this, and we don't have to worry about that on this part. So we're just going to go through and draw it, shade it, make sure it looks nice and neat. So the front gets a little shading. These front faces will also get shaded as well. Which, when you shade, it'll kind of hide some of those eraser mistakes that we cleaned up. Sides get a little bit of shading. Tops will stay white. And that'll finish out our structure. So this is the first video just to show you how to do the example structure. I'm going to show one more of another structure we can build, but you're going to choose what kind of structure you want to put together with these blocks, and then you're just going to draw that, you and your partner can draw that in isometric.